Imagine a killer with no spikes, no red flags, and no warning signs. One that looks exactly like the mushroom you would find in a high-end grocery store. You eat a wild mushroom, and at first you feel fine. But as 6 hours pass, then 12, a silent countdown begins while you are sleeping. In this quiet window of deception, your liver is being dismantled from the inside out by a biological assassin that accounts for over 90% of all mushroom-related deaths worldwide. You have just encountered the amanitaphalloides, better known by its terrifying nickname, the deathcap. This isn't just a story for seasoned foragers, because identifying this mushroom is a critical survival skill in a world where nature's most resilient toxin is appearing in suburban backyards across the globe. Welcome to the library of the natural world, where the most innocent-looking organisms often harbor the darkest secrets. If you have ever gone hiking or simply explored the damp corners of your own garden, you have likely seen mushrooms that look like they belong in a fairy tale or a fresh salad. But the deathcap is the ultimate master of visual bias, lacking any flashing red warning signs or intimidating textures. It is a smooth, dome-shaped mushroom with a greenish-yellow or pale white cap that looks disturbingly ordinary. When it is young, it perfectly mimics popular edible varieties like straw mushrooms or puffballs, which is exactly why even experienced foragers find themselves making a fatal mistake. This is where the science of mimicry becomes a masterclass in danger, because the difference between a delicious meal and a lethal dose is often hidden beneath the soil. One of the only reliable ways to tell the deathcap apart is by checking the very base of the stalk for a large, bulbous, cup-like structure called a volva. But for the average person, this detail is easily missed, and the consequences of that oversight are staggering. Just half of a single mushroom cap contains enough poison to end the life of a healthy adult. The true horror of the deathcap lies in a group of chemicals called amatoxins, which are among the most resilient substances on the planet. You can boil them, you can freeze them, and you can dry them, but they will remain just as lethal as the moment they were picked. Once these toxins enter your system, they target the tiny machines inside your cells known as RNA polymerases. Think of these as the essential factory workers that help your body produce proteins. Without them, your cells simply stop functioning, and your vital organs, starting with your liver, begin to shut down entirely. The most devious part of this biological attack is the sneaky symptom cycle. After ingestion, there is a window of 6 to 12 hours where the victim feels perfectly healthy, a period of false recovery that often tricks people into thinking they are fine. By the time the nausea, vomiting, and stomach cramps actually arrive, the internal damage is often already irreversible. This delay is a psychological trap that frequently leads doctors to misdiagnose the poisoning as simple flu or common food poisoning until it is far too late. From an evolutionary standpoint, the deathcap presents a baffling mystery that scientists call the evolutionary paradox. Most toxic plants use their poison as a defense mechanism to avoid being eaten, but mushrooms actually benefit from animals eating them to help spread their spores across the forest floor. The amatoxins in the deathcap are considered secondary metabolites, meaning they aren't even essential for the mushroom's own survival. It is a strange evolutionary glitch that this fungus has developed a poison so potent it kills the very creatures that could help it reproduce. While this mushroom was once primarily found in Europe, it is now a global threat that has successfully hitched a ride to North America, Australia, and Asia. It forms a hidden symbiotic relationship with the roots of certain trees, and as those trees were transported and planted in new regions, the deathcap quietly followed. It is now a resident of our parks and suburban landscapes, waiting for the next person to fall victim to its harmless appearance. Survival is possible, but it requires aggressive medical intervention, massive amounts of IV fluids, and constant monitoring. Yet many hospitals may not recognize the symptoms of deathcap poisoning until the critical window for treatment has closed. The greatest weapon this mushroom has is not just its toxin, but our own overconfidence in our ability to perceive danger. In the world of wild fungi, there is no room for almost certain or pretty sure. The 100% rule is the only law of the woods. Never eat a wild mushroom unless you are absolutely certain of its identity. Nature is beautiful and full of surprises, but when it comes to the deathcap, it is always better to be safe than sorry, because once the 12-hour clock starts ticking, there is no turning back. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe to the channel and tap the bell icon for more amazing content.
Until next time, stay curious.